Hello everybody and how's it going? So, this is pretty exciting. On January 1st, I'm recording this on January 1st. Fantasy Flight Games just dropped a new Parallel Investigator, and out of nowhere we got Parallel Monterey Jack. And that's pretty sick cuz people were like, oh, expecting we're going to see Rex and Jenny, but now the gloves are off and we don't know who we're going to be getting next, which is kind of super exciting. I imagine we'll still eventually see, Parallel Rex and Jenny one day potentially, but honestly at this point I don't even know. But it seems to imply that the designers are kind of just going with what feels right to them and what ideas they have, so that's pretty sick. Let's check in this article as we always do, read through it, and react to the cards that we got here. You've read about the Miskatonic University's failed expedition into the jungles of Mexico, searching for the remnants of a civilization lost to the ages. The expedition returned with little effort to show for their efforts, and that's where the reports end. No further endeavors are being funded by the university, but you can't help but wonder what mysteries remain hidden beneath those vine-choked ruins. Grab your bullwhip, consult your map, and get ready to delve back into the ancient tomes of the latest Parallel Investigator for Arkham Horror the card game, Monterey Jack. Alright, let's go. Okay, I'm going to look at the card. So Monterey Jack brought us to the bitter cold of Antarctica with the Edge of the Earth Investigator expansion in 2021. Now he returns to the dusty crypts of the ancient world with a whole new playstyle focused on gathering and playing relics. Rest in peace, Ursula Downs. After Parallel, Monterey Jack discovers the last room. Okay, all right, let's check this out. Okay. 1-4-2-5. So same stat line as far as I'm aware. As a reaction, after you discover the last clue at your location, search the top X cards of your deck for a charm or relic asset and play it, reducing its cost by X. X is the printed shroud of your location. That's a pretty cool play style. That's pretty cool. That's pretty sick. Okay. I'm just going to quickly, don't mind me, just going to quickly open up Arkham DB. Because that's pretty... Because I think we need to have... give me Relic. We're going to need to start searching all this. And then also give me Charm. Okay. Elder Sign. Gain 1 resource for each Charm asset and each Relic asset you control. Holy cow. That's a pretty good Elder Sign effect. It's like basically Daisies, kind of, right? Because Daisies is like +0, draw a card for each asset you control, for each tome asset you control. Gain 1 resource for each charm and each relic asset you control. Okay, that's a pretty spicy ability. I'm very interested. So, after he discovers the last room location, he can search the top cards of his or her deck for a relic or charm card and play it at a reduced cost. The higher the shroud of his location, the deeper the search and the greater the discount. Not only that, but his Elder Sign effect cashes in on having multiple relics and charms in play, giving you 1 resource each. With this new ability, Monterey's deck can include all sorts of relics and charms to make his trips through the tombs even more interesting. Disc of Examina is a great way to get him through out of a way of a tough enemy while quickly discarding itself to open up its accessory slot again for another great tool like Eon Chart or Cherished Keepsake. Alright, this mother right here is just playing charms and relics if he can play Cherished Keepsake. Aspiring collectors will want to bring another along Relic Hunter and ensure they have enough slots for their relics and charms. Okay, do we have his deck building here? No, okay, let's open up the... let's look at the cards. Let's take a quick little break here and check out... Oopsie. Alright, rogue cards... Okay, so this is basically just the exact same parallel deck building they've had for all of these so far, which is their main class 0-3. Charm and Relic 0-4. It's actually pretty similar in a sense where, like, you get 5 level 0 Seeker cards. Then you just get Rogue 0-3. There's some great stuff in Rogue 0-3. And you get Charm and Relic levels 0-4. Very intriguing. So, actually, like, if this is Monterey Jack's, then maybe Jenny is going to, like, maybe they actually have, like, a cycle of Parallel Investigators they're going through if they're following the same thing. Because I was expecting this for Jenny, but, now the designers are saying, hey, human brain, ignore those patterns. We're just doing what we want, which I think is pretty sick. Okay, so we can do Charm and Relic 0-4. So we can play all of the Ancient Stones. which is awesome because we can also get the level 0 cards to translate them. Can't play Armor, can play Binder's Jar, can play Crystalline Elder Sign, so we can just make our stats really high. Can't play Cyclopean, can play the level 3 Decorated Skull for multiple reasons. All the discs, we could go to Sword Mode if we feel so inclined. Oh, there's a lot of relics, huh? Can't play, no, you can play, because it's 0 to 4. Okay, so we can play the upgraded Eon chart, which is, I mean, sick. We can play Flute of the Outer Gods. Okay, now we're talking. Can play Grotesque Statue, is that something? I mean, like, I think, because of his playstyle and his ability, right? It makes me curious, or do you just want to go, like, Relic Charm crazy, or do you want to build around specific stuff? Because, like, you kind of want to be triggering this ability as much as you can. The more you trigger Monterey Jack's ability, it's a really powerful ability, right? It's kind of like... It kind of, like, is like a more controlled... It's like a Lucky Cigarette Case in a way, right? It's not the same extent where you can trigger it, like, consistently with, like, lockpicks. But now Monterey Jack can actually, like, play lockpicks. So you get Lucky Cigarette Case 3, you get lockpicks out, you investigate at 9, you search the top, like, however you succeeded by, grab the last clue on that investigation and get a search again. That's a lot of very high potential card selection and also, like, action compression. Because his ability right here is card selection and action compression. It seems really good. It seems like a very powerful ability. Play the Hallowed Mirror. Okay. Notably, this, I mean, it's a neutral card. We can go 0 to 5 anyway. So ignore me what I was going to say. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this shit. Jewel of Aureolus. A lot of Charm deck building, though, because Zoe was also Charmed. So I'm curious to see how much crossover there is, or if they're going to approach their Charms differently, right? But it seems like the designers for these Parallel Investigators, and also potentially actually even for the box Investigators pointing at Wilson Richards, they're kind of just like, deck, we don't want to get too crazy with our deck building, so maybe we're going to try to define it in other ways, like through the Investigator ability. Otherworldly Compass, we could do Lola Santiago, okay, color me interested. Can't play either of these. Could play the Black Fan. Could play the Shining Trapezohedron, thank God. Absolutely would want to do that. You'd be crazy not to. He can play the level 5 Red Clock, which I think is totally fine. I like that, because I do think that the 0-3 of their main class is a notable lockout point for these decks, which is cool. Okay, alright, let's check out the Charms, which I'm pretty fresh. So you can play the Sickles. You can play the Sickles and the Dowsing Rod. You can also play the, I imagine, the Onyx Pentacle when we get there. It's going to be hanging out on a future page. But the Dowsing Rod is actually kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Is it good in Monterey Jack? I mean, you can investigate at 5. That's kind of like Monterey Jack's problem in the past, right? Is he's a 4-book Seeker without the ability to do Seeker stuff because his card pool is limited to only 5 level 0s. You're still limited to 5 level 0s, but you have a bunch of more tools to potentially take advantage of it. So, like, maybe the Dowsing Rod is a great tool to make your deck more consistent at level 0. But this guy's going to upgrade completely different than regular Monterey Jack. This is, I think, a really cool change. And also, his ability is, I think, very cool. I think it's a really nice designed ability. And it hits Seeker, it hits Rogue, it hits, like, all the flavor stuff for it. I'm super into this design. I'm super into it. Alright, we can play Dream Diary. Let's go. We can play the Grizzly Totems. I don't think there would be a reason to, because he doesn't have access to, like, the red one to do this. But the Grizzly Totem and Seeker is nice. You're definitely going to want Relic Hunters in this deck, because you definitely want to, like, trigger... You're probably not going to take the Rosaries, but you're going to want to be triggering your ability a lot. And, like, there's a lot of good... A lot of good stuff. I mean, even just running, like, a Fuda in your deck once you get to it. Just, like, have it and play it. And then you can just, like... You ever hit on your ability, you just get it for free? I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's... I think this is some primo shit. I think this is a very powerful investigator. It's definitely stronger than regular Monterey. I think we can all... I think that's kind of easy to say. Because Monterey Jack's in that awkward point where his ability is a little bit tougher to play around to get, like, consistent value out of it. And his card pool kind of has the wrong halves of each side. Where, like, the Seeker upgraded card pool certainly is good. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But it's really powerful at level 0. And Monterey Jack also doesn't have the level 1 to 5 rogue cards, which is very powerful. But this one, while not having that... Ooh, 30, oh, there's a scenario in this one for sure. Not having that, I think this is a... I mean, I think his ability is just really good. His ability is basically just play the game and get value out of playing the game, which is like the best kind of ability, right? It's just do your job and get rewarded for it. And if you ever hit this, holy crap, the Elder Sign is really good. So, like, maybe there's a reason to do some grotesque statue fishing for it then, potentially. Potentially! Okay, let's go back to the article. We'll be back to you in a second. Alright, Monterey's trusty Bulwark is getting the advanced treatment as well. Cost, alright, let's look at this. 1 cost, I also should get the other one. Let's look at his traditional so I can compare. Bullwhip! Alright. 2 cost, fast, uses fist. Alright, Alright, fast Monterey Jack advanced. Fight. This attack uses foot instead of fist. You get +2 skill value for this attack. Okay. Okay. If this attack succeeds, you may exhausted, deal +1 damage, and automatically evade. To either automatically evade or deal +1 damage. Holy shit. That is an upgrade. I mean, I suppose it makes sense, because with the identity of this... Look at the icons on that! Oh, it's pretty much the same. It just has the book. Okay. But, like, with this change to Monterey Jack, he's becoming less of a seeker. So he's becoming more of the rogue fighter type thing. And I think that's a nice change. I do think that Monterey Jack, while I think his ability is ultimately, like, I think the design on it is really good, he didn't really feel as Monterey Jack to me from what I played in the previous Arkham games. Arkham Files games, rather. So I'm liking what I see. But you exhaust it to deal +1 damage for this attack and automatically evade. This is a really good upgrade. This is a really good upgrade. But you can't without an advanced weakness. So let's look at Buried Secrets. So... Advance, put into play in your threat area. If your location can be investigated, you cannot move. Oh, it's a double action. Holy crap. Okay. So the first one's a singled action. And I'm going to be honest, like, Buried Secrets is not a terrible weakness. Like, it's not a terrible signature weakness. But it is actually pretty annoying. And you can't get rid of it. So if you see instead of discovering clues, discard it. If you failed, you may take 2 Hordes shuffled into your deck. Now it's just a double action. If you see instead of discovering clues, discard Buried Secrets. I mean, I think that this is obviously good, and I think that this is obviously, like, tougher, but it doesn't have the... I mean, it's probably worth it, right? It's probably worth the time. I would say it's worth it. I think that's a nice... yeah. I would probably run this. This is like Parallel Daisy, where I would like... Or sorry, the Parallel Daisy's advanced signatures, where I'll probably just run this in regular Monterey. It sucks if you fail, but play analysis, right? Like, this is like what we talked about. What I always talk about with analysis is that if you use it as like a combo piece or like weakness protection, I think that's really nice. And not to mention, you can actually trigger your ability while getting rid of Buried Secrets. No, sorry, that's a lie. You're going to be investigating it. Don't listen to me. Don't scratch what I just said. I forgot that you don't get the clues while you do this. You still get to investigate, but you don't get the clues. You do get money if you have Dr. Milan in play. Helpful tips with Justin. Alright, much like Parallel Jim Culver before, Monterey Jack's arrived with his own challenge scenario in The Relics of the Past. Monterey revisits the Doom of Etsley from the Forgotten Age campaign. With new challenges and new rewards, Relics of the Past features a new take on the Explore mechanic, along with a unique set of supplies only found in this scenario. Interesting. Okay. Monterey would need to explore his way through the ruins, opening up new paths to long-sealed chambers before finding his way to the coveted inner chamber. After reaching the innermost chamber, Monterey must locate as many ancient relics as he can, such as the Jade Crocodile. Let's see this shit. Just kidding, I can't. I can see the Dweller of the Pit. Oh my god! It's big. And beware the Dweller of the Pit. This monstrous reptile will hunt Monterey Jack down and threaten to reverse all of his hard work recovering these artifacts. Hunter retaliates spawn, engage with Monterey Jack, gets plus player health and +1 fight for each Vengeance point in the victory display. After it deals damage to you, check your supplies. If you're not out of the satchel, shuffle each asset you control to the exploration deck. Okay, that's cool. I like the take on the different take on the design for this. Secret passage. Oh, there's that Jade Crocodile. Oh, how cute. That's a little Bach rug right there. Play under control. You must either place one doom on your location or take 2 damage. When you resign, add Jade Crocodile to victory display. Obsidian Jaguar. Whoo! A lot of victory to be found in here. I know people are going to like that. This is really cool. I think that's a nice... I imagine these are going to be in the exploration deck. Really neat. Really neat. So, I think... Honestly, I think Parallel Monterey Jack is an absolute win. I think he's a fantastic parallel investigator, and I'm so excited to play with him. And, I mean, honestly, it's upended my entire YouTube schedule, this thing just coming out on the day, but I'm super happy for it. You know, I love parallel investigators, so you can expect a deck building and a gameplay video for this as we explore Monterey Jack and see how he evolves. But in the meantime, what do you guys think of Monterey Jack? Tell me, please, in the comments. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. But in the meantime, have a good one. And as always, a GG's.